Oh, fantasy, the game that turns around so damn quickly. And we went, let's just go through our round rankings here and where we're at. So we kicked off round one at 54,732. Not great on that front. We then moved to 41,500, down into 7,988. A massive round three. That was a big improver. Round four, we're out to 8,600. Okay, so very, middling week kind of thing there. And then round five, we get out to 20,329. A bit of a shocker on that front. Down to 15,000 after round six. And then 7,110 after round seven. And then after round eight, we're into 3,001. Almost snuck into the top 3,000. So that's, guys, off the back of two really, really good weeks of trading. That's for sure. That's where the big move came from. I had more than half my rank and then did it again, more than half my rank again. So it really, really helped out. Obviously, those trades that I made, 1,013 in this squad. And as I said in that previous video, the 5 things I learned with the fantasy tip, I just wanted to mention there the fact that you can make ranks so quickly if you just make a couple of good moves and get a little bit of luck, right? You can go poorly the one way out to terrible ranks like I did, moving from sort of 7,500 out to 20,000 very quickly. And then you can bring it back quickly as well. So just keep that in mind when you're watching this content, when you're making trades. If you can get it right, make the correct decisions, good things can happen. And yeah, the 1,013 for me, 2 trades I brought in was Jamin Jolliffe, JJ, Jolly Jamin, the GOAT, 64 for him, and then Trey Fuller, a 68 for him in that one. So a massive 60k gain on his front, 40 odd for Jolliffe. And yeah, both still at solid prices where they're going to make some more money, which is great. Harry Grant lost 6 points, by the way, was 60 down to 54. The stats guys just cooked him in that one, an extra missed tackle, and I think they took away his turnover tackle as well. So not fun on that, but still solid overall. He's 746 and lost a little bit more cash in that one. Cotter, Terrell. So Terrell's the worry in the side at the moment. We'll speak about potential options with him coming into round 9 here. We obviously need to see the team list and what goes on there and who's named where and what's going on, and I guess what positions I need as well to cover heading into sort of round 13, 14, because round 14 is a situation that is brewing for me where I'm at about 15 to 16 players for that one as well. So we'll keep an eye on that one when we look at our potential bring-ins as well. So yeah, Cotter, fine, 49, happy with that. Jolliffe, the 64 was great. Got Blore a couple of weeks ago. He's still making some good cash for me, which is nice with Crichton there, so no problems in the edge. Kaipi's Paul, a bit of a low one on his front as well. Not ideal. And then Brendan Piakura, 36. So yeah, the missed tackles is more his worry. I think there'll be more tackles to come, makes anyway, but hopefully he can stay sort of really around that 3 mark would be okay. We can deal with that with his upside in the attacking arena, especially coming up against the Roosters this week. I imagine there will be some misses, especially against like a Joey Marner. I can see him just chasing Joey around and copping some missed tackles. So he might be one. I think they play fairly early, if I'm not mistaken. The Roosters. They play the 3rd game of the round. So yeah, he's one that you probably want to try and loop because it could get ugly or it could be a good one. He's such a rocks and diamonds type of player, and we'll see how that one plays out for me here. And if I'm holding a Danny Levi or anything, Ethan Strange, if I'm trying to loop those guys, we'll see how that one plays out for sure. But yeah, very interesting situation that is, definitely. But yeah, so Piakura 36, solid enough for a hold, 10k in gains, which was cool. Nico Hines is captain. He's absolutely brained it the last 2 weeks. 2 massive scores after he's 53. When I brought him in the week before, he's absolutely paid his debts, and I love you, Nico. You're the bomb. But Lockie Galvin there at 55, good score on his front. Very happy with that. Kel Iro, 53, was massive. Make sure you have him. Make sure you have Galvin. Galvin's draw opens up as well. Gets a little bit easier for him. He comes up against Canterbury Bulldogs after playing Panthers into the Broncos. Obviously, the Dogs playing great, and he's not on the terrible left-hand side of the doggies there. So that's a win on that front as well. He gets to go up against Hutcho, so he should be able to do some good things on that side if Hutcho makes the side. Strange, I think if you can help it next week, I'd probably try and loop him if there's a possibility for you. The Raiders play the second match of the round, so if you can loop the center position, that would be a win. If you're getting a Garrick or if you're getting something like that, try and do that. That would be the goal. If you've got Karaz like myself, trying to do a few things like that would be really cool. This week, he obviously could come out and do well again like he has for the majority of the year, and he didn't lose any cash this week. I think 1K, so that's fine. But yeah, Fuller, Pap, and Gutho couldn't have got any more out of those guys. So impressed, so happy with how that played out. Fuller, I was hoping for sort of a 40 plus, 45 would have been like, yep, solid, just the way that he's been playing. But to get a 68 and to make that much cash, and if he's in this team next week and scores well again, and then he isn't in the team until round 13, I'm happy enough with that. That would be at worst, that's a really, really good effort there. With just that score helps so much. Obviously, if you can get that for a couple of weeks and then play round 13, 16, 19, hopefully he gets a spot in that top 30. He absolutely deserves it. And there's another few injuries this week with the Bromwich brothers going down there. He should be able to continue with that exemption, as much as we don't know what's going on. Gutho, 51, couldn't have asked for any more, as I said. He goes on bye this week, and I'm holding him definitely. Hopefully a week off is good for his knee, but they asked him about it, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So who knows what's going on with that situation, or he's just trying to play it down. I don't know exactly how that's that one's going. Hughes, Salmon, and Karaz, so I get them back this week. Obviously, Karaz I'm super excited about, and that's an important one for me, given he'll come straight in for Gutho this week. And we will try and grab Garrick, I think, would be the play, given he's going to be super important for round 14, 16, and then has a bye in 13, 17, but we don't need one. If we're holding Gutho, we don't need a wing fullback for that round. So that's cool. We're set for wing fullbacks if Fuller plays. It'll be Karaz, Fuller, Gutho. The extra centre or wing fullback is not going to do us any disservice, that's for sure. Levi with his 15, he loses about 10k. Likely plays this week. We'll see where he's at. I wonder if I'm going to hold him. Brayley's obviously a serious target this week in the hawking position. He will start to continue going up in cash, and I think that if he can stay on the park, he's got 150 to anywhere above that, to be honest with you. Probably 150 makes sense from 490 into the mid to early 600s, which is cool. Hughesy, do we want to play him each week? Salmon, if Preston's not there, Salmon's an easy play again. Hughesy, if like Kurt Mann's back, I think it stunts him a little bit. Maxi King will be there. We'll see what happens with their team list before we make any decisions on looping and whatever else. And then Plathy, 57, such a cracking trade in 2 weeks ago, 72 into a 57. So happy with that. Blory was 56 into a 48. So yeah, as I said, you make a couple of good moves, guys, and you can set yourself up really, really well. So yeah, a 2,100 rank in round 8. That was great, and we pushed forward. Trades obviously still the issue. The last 2 weeks, I think I've gone... Did I go 2 trades or 3 trades? I went 3 trades last week, into 2 this week, and yeah, there's a chance that I could just fix everything and make 3 trades, and I'd be so happy with the squad. Already happy with it now, but it'd be even happier. And I think only trading for injuries at that point with Terrell May, Lustig, and Levi could definitely be the triple trade option. Get in Brayley, get in Garrick, and then get in someone else. That's potentially where I'm looking at. Or a single trade is easy. I could just go Lustig to Brayley and leave a little bit of cash in the bank. That's an easy option as well. If Terrell is kind of going to be a bit of an issue, then Lustig to Brayley leaves me with 50 odd K on top to go anyone 670 and below in whatever position. If it's mid, whatever that is, we can make a decision. Obviously, round 14 for me is the interesting one as well, and something we need to be looking at. And we'll jump in and have a look at my buy planner situation right now. So if we're looking at our, as I said, round 13, we're set up with the 3 fullbacks, which is great. Centre, we have Iro and Strange, so Talangi can go off that list now, that's what it is. So yeah, halfback is the position that I'm missing someone. So let's just say it is Strange right now that keeps that spot in the centre. I'm missing one halfback, and May, if we do trade him out, that's a little bit of an issue. And we're holding Salmon longer term. These are a few of the questions I need to ask, that's for sure. So let's just say Salmon is not going to be covering edge because we got Crichton and KPP. Lustig may end up being Brayley, so that's not a big issue on that front. May is obviously the one. So which mid, if we are trading May out, which mid do we end up getting? And gee, I'd be excited by Connor Watson if there's some news around him playing some 13. If he goes into 6, congratulations on the career of Luke Keary. Sounds like he's retiring. I haven't got the confirmation, but it sounds like that's going to be his decision now, and hopefully that's the right decision for him and his family. And yeah, congratulations on an incredible career, Luke Keary. But if Watson goes to 6, they've got Sandon Smith there. Yeah, there's a few things they can do, but if that's the play, then it becomes superbly interesting, that's for sure. But yeah, so 1 mid is what's going to be needed at a minimum, and then a half at this stage. So Plath could go into half, that's for sure. If I do get a center, if I get a wing fullback, like a Drinkwater or something like that, Karaz can go into the centers, Strange can go into half, and then I would only need 1 mid. So yeah, as I said, a few little thoughts, a few little tidbits, options, etc., that we will need to look at heading into round 13, that's for sure. But 21 trades remaining, that's probably the big thing, as I said, just overloading on the trades. If I use 3 next week, then I would clearly need to be trying to hold over the next few weeks. Like Raiders only have 1 if I trade Levi out, 1 Raider. So that's cool. There's obviously guys like Weeks to have a look at in round 11 potentially. But again, how many Raiders or Roosters or whoever the other team is, Dolphins in round 14 that have that bye. So yeah, all things to think about. Am I going to be wanting to hold a Cotter through the buys? Probably not. Grant potentially could be held through. I think that's fine. But yeah, how many of those guys that play Origin do I want? Thankfully for me, I don't have a lot of them, right? So I've got Grant, I've got Cotter at this point, clearly in Origin. And then Hines is sweet. So like at this point, unsure if he's going to be in Origin. Might be 50-50, let's say at this point. But I'm not sitting there having Walsh in my side and Cleary at this point. Like I think I'm going to just hold off on getting Cleary and Carrigan and all these types of guys that a lot of people have out there. I'm not sitting in that situation where I'm going to be having to either play short or make trades on those guys coming into Origin. So I think we're sitting in a pretty solid spot. If I do make the 3 trades, I'm, as I said, very set, very happy with the side. If it's 1, if it's 2 trades, a little bit underwhelming this week, and I can't get the incredible scores out of certain guys. Like even just trading Terrell to like a John Bateman this week could get me great scores in this coming one, but it still doesn't help me with my that's another edge player to add to my list. And unless he's getting mid-dual in round 14, that could be super helpful for the mids section. But unless that happens, how helpful is he apart from the points? And points at this stage, like that's what you're trading in Cleary for before Origin. If you're getting him now, or if you're getting Hines now, obviously a little bit different to that of Cleary, but you're getting Cleary now for the points heading into that across the next month, right? And Bunnies on Thursday night. I'm going to be super scared as a non-captainer. That's for sure. In this side, that's the only positive in the head-to-head team at the moment, is I've got Cleary up against the Bunnies this coming week. So there you go. That's pretty much the most important thoughts around my team right now. Where are you at in your squad? Let me know your thoughts on your potential trades. Again, no questions around your exact trades to myself, just your thoughts around what you might be thinking pre-team list, because that obviously changes things on a regular basis there in that one. Let me know your who the targets you think we should be looking at coming into this week. Is it Daniel Atkinson in the wing fullback position that you want to be looking at? Is it David Armstrong? You look great. Does he keep his spot? Like there's a lot of different thoughts you can go with in that wing fullback slot in that one. And you might have like Seb Chris and these kind of guys in that position that you might be worried about as well. So that's that on that front. Let's just get into the rankings. That's a big one to target here. Obviously, I'm at 3,000 now, so getting closer to the top, but 411 points away from first. Tommy B, Cowboys fan. Congrats, mate. Doing really well. Tommy Brown, I hope it is. But Zach comes into second, so still a really good position for him. And there's a little drop off then to third. So 41 points there, 39, sorry, between first and third. So, I'm 372 points away from third. That's not crazy at all. And obviously my squad value at 11.885 is pretty solid, but you're looking at anyone in the top 50 here. Pretty much all of them have a 12 in front of the name, at the start there, or it's 11.995, something like that. So overall, we are not too far behind. We're not crazy there. Again, another few more really good weeks, and we can quickly get into that top 1,000 and then set off, if we're obviously setting ourselves up well for the buys. That's good for us in there. And obviously you want to be looking for chinks in the armor of these top teams. And at the moment it's Hines and Cleary, which makes it pretty tough. Hopgood, there's a buy this week, so that helps us. But Isaiah Yeo in there Again, there's so many guns in here. Manu down below with Chevy and Pat. Like, it's a little bit of a lower wing fullback. Obviously having to play Stewart weekly, but that worked this week. But yeah, very, very solid across the board with Bateman, Finifuyaki, Galvin. Yeah, nothing wrong with the team at all. Good situation. Congrats on Tom for being in that spot. You're doing great things. Let's just head to the rest of the leagues there just to keep you guys updated on where we're at. Got through beating my brother this week. It was a tough week for Ish, unfortunately, having no Cleary. No Hines. Was thinking about getting Cleary, but didn't do that. But yeah, just tough across the board. Bostock had Sully's -2. Just a tough round on that front. And then Scoop at 837. Not incredibly ideal, obviously, for him. He'll hope to get a better one. This week, I got through, obviously, my head-to-head matchups with 1,013. Very hard. Not to, obviously, the NRL Fantasy Analysis community with Joseph right up there in 4th position. Congrats to Joseph. Winning our league currently. 2 Josephs, 1 and 2. They're Joseph G and Joseph Dub. Riley 3rd, Matty G 4th, and then Isaac 5th. So congrats to you guys, all in the top 53. So there you go. That's that one. And then a full shout out the private group crew as well. I'm in 48th right now, but Liam in a really, really strong position there at 51st overall. A perennial good scorer here in fantasy. Mitchy D, 141st. Into Ash at 215. That's the top 3 with Shane, Jacob, Michael, Don in at 7th, who has been following along and is absolutely in love with me at the moment. He's been following along with my trades with Plath, Jolliffe, Fuller, and Blory last week as well. So happy days with... did you get Blory? No Blory last week. There you go. Didn't get all of them, but he was very happy with that Plath one that week. So yeah, good stuff to those guys. Matty, who's on the channel as well, a good 997 for him this week with 1,216th overall. So Cream rising to the top, which is good news on that front. And then just finish it off with the battle of the podcast there with Daniel moving into 1st spot. I keep my spot in at 3rd, no movement there. Daniel getting 1,023, so another big week on that front. He had Eli Katoa with 56 there. Carrigan is 56. Smithy's 39, not as good, but Walshy with his 64. Bateman, the trade in as well. With Teddy's 40. So not crazy overall, but had Hines in there as well. Good stuff. Even had Terrell May. But Osto still at 977. A good score from him. Keeps him at 1824. Daniel's at 1335. So I think our podcasters, we need to start moving into the top sections. That's for sure. We're slowing down at the moment. We were there was some guys in the top 50 and stuff last year. Top 100 clearly at this time. So we need to get a wriggle on. Lucy in at 5,742, Adrian at 5,800. So yeah, some all right scores across the board. Rob, all the rest, yeah. You can see all the other guys. Eddie, Chris, obviously captaining, having Cleary, holding Cleary, 50, still captained Hines. Thank goodness for them. Mark not owning Hines is a tough one at the moment. 838. I imagine Cleary's going to help him out this week, that's for sure. And then Scoop needs to sort himself out. 6,001 overall points, 34,784. It's time, Scoop. It's time for a big movement. So there you go. That's the teams, that's the leagues, and we'll see you in the head-to-head team right now. Oh my, it's tough times in the head-to-head scene. 778. Brought in Cleary this week and captained him. Obviously, if you brought in Hines and captained him, it would have been an extra, 140 odd, and you're sitting at 920. And you're like, no problem. No problem at all. 148 extra. Whew. That is tough. That is absolutely tough. And obviously the Smithy issue there with 24. Terrell May 16. Trade in Blory instead of Bateman in the end. 12 extra points with Bateman would have been the play, considering that's where I had it. And anyway, that's fine. But yeah, Brown's 57 was good. He has a bye this week, which hurts us a little bit. And then Turbo 27, Drinkwater 36. So not ideal on that front. Kaipi Spalls 30. Played Chan for 35, so thank you to that. I didn't have to make the 3rd trade in this team. But yeah, the Hines v Cleary issue was very prominent this week, that's for sure. So as I said, I'm excited for it this week up against the Bunnies. I think he'll do really, really well. But outside of that, it was not a fun week. And we probably don't want to dwell on it too much. And we're just going to keep moving to the next, that's for sure. But in terms of my leagues this week, it was a bit of a tough one, losing all of them. With a 770, except for this one where someone Berto's left foot has moved on and not playing anymore, but everyone else kind of outdid me there. So that pushes me back a little bit in some of these leagues. And, 12th in one of them there, 3rd, 6th, a couple of seconds, a 3rd, 7th, 8th. So I was doing really well, but this loss here in all of them really hurts. And we do need to start getting some wins again, which would be absolutely delightful. But swing fullbacks. I think this week, Drinkwater got through Panthers. Turbo comes up against the Raiders this week. So they're going to be 2 bounce backs, in my opinion. Cleary's going to have a big bounce back as well. And then Smithy can't go lower than a 24. So look, it's all improvements. But issues we have, Sully's out for a week. Do we hold or sell? That's the question there. We've got Salmon back playing. Hopefully he's on the edge and we can just straight play him. Talangi's not playing. Chan, do you want to rely on him each week? Brown's out this week. It's probably going to be at least 2 trades this week. And what we do and who we decide to go for, I think in this scenario, only having Brandon Smith as my only hooker, I should say, he's a guy I really want to target this week because, Brayley's a guy I really want to target this week to cover that position. And then if we do have to trade Brandon out, he just continues to score poorly, then that's what we'll do. But at this point, I'm going to be holding Cheese, I think, and somehow get Brayley in. So 63K in the bank. Let's just say we went Terrell May to Brayley. That's an easy downgrade. That gives me 130 plus 60, 190 odd K in the bank to then upgrade like a Blaze Talangi. That's potentially an option. We can get rid of Sully. We can go up from him. Brown we're going to hold clearly. Outside of that, I think Cheesy's a hold for this squad. But yeah, it could be a 2 trade effort with it's like a May and Sully or May and Talangi up to someone at the 500K mark. I think we can get for Talangi or 560, 70 or something like that for Sully. And we'll have a look at the options from that. But there's definitely a few guys that we can look at in that section. It's a little bit of an awkward one, but we'll see what happens. Or we get like recycle and get another decent cheapie that covers the wing fullback, which we don't own. Obviously Garrick's probably an easy one, I should say. Sully to Garrick is probably very, very simple. At that point, I think we definitely have enough for Ruben. Let's see where he ended up at. 547. So yeah, that would be fine. That gives me wing fullback cover. That gives me the option to loop Strange as well. Yeah, that's cool. That's a very, very easy one. Although, when do they play? Do they play each other? No, they play, what did I say? Raiders. Yeah, they do play each other. Second game of the round. Oh, can't even loop Strange with Garrick. I have to loop Strange with Arrow. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, we can do that. Not a problem on that front. So yeah, that might be the play, just to double trade it in that sense, and then we'll see where that shakes out. So let's say Sully's out. We've got Brown and Talangi still in the team there. So they'd be 2021. Strange, I think it's still fine to play, to be honest with you. But look, we'll loop him. So that's cool. So we can loop a couple of players, and it's like Hughes, Salmon, Chan. Probably looping Chan again. Yeah, cool. I think that's probably all we wanted to speak about with the head-to-head side. I'm going to do a head-to-head focused strategy video this week. I did the overall one last week, so we want to do the head-to-head one in this week, given we have a little bit more time back to a Thursday evening game, which is cool. So that'll be that one this week, and we'll obviously get the next 3 games that we'll look at as well. So that'll be cool. And yeah, that's awesome, guys. We'll catch you in the next video popping up.